What's up, and welcome to another episode of Black in the Maritimes. My name is Fidel. Now, on this episode, we're going to talk about hockey. Now, I will say I am not the biggest hockey fan. Hockey's not my favorite sport. I watch it from time to time. I watch it sometimes with friends. I don't know too much about the sport, so definitely correct me on anything if you're a big hockey fan. Now, I am going to talk about this because of recent things that have happened. Now, recently in Quebec, a minor league hockey team, there was a black player, or there is a black player, to be honest. He's going to play 2 more games and then decide if he's going to stay in that league. Was recently taunted and given racist remarks by the fans. Now, this is not new. What I'm saying that it's not new at all. Every year there is things like that happening to black hockey players, whether it is in junior hockey, minor league hockey, and the biggest league of all, the NHL. Now, I will say this: hockey is not a racist sport. It's not a sport that is supposed to be racist. I do think it's a sport that it has a system that is built for the white man. Now, why do I say this? Now, hockey is one of the most expensive sports to play. If you want to play hockey, you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, not hundreds, thousands and thousands of dollars, whether it's a child playing at the age of 4, whether it's a teenager at the age of 15, 12, or 17, whatever age you want to put it, there's thousands of dollars that have to be spent. Most minorities do not have this type of money. This type of money is something that is sometimes way over the requirements of a minority, black, Hindu, or Native American. This is definitely a very expensive sport to play, and it's not something that's accessible everywhere in Canada. You would think that you would say, well, this is a country that is mostly winter all the time. There should be access to hockey rinks. Well, the fact is that not everywhere there's a hockey rink. If you go places like native reserves and some impoverished neighborhoods, there is no hockey rink to play. And if there is one, it's not very well established. Some of them, they do lack of funding and things like that. So sometimes it's not feasible, or there's no way that people can play constantly. Now, again, this is something that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's many problems in this. When regarding of the biggest league, which is the NHL, the NHL is right now the fourth biggest league in North America. It goes behind the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, but it's been struggling to gain fans. Most of the fans are white men. And the other thing is that there is only around a 1% of diversity within the NHL. Now, the race line or the race barrier of the NHL was broken 60 years ago by a guy called Willie O'Ree, which is actually a man born in New Brunswick, in Fredericton, New Brunswick. So this has been long gone. So black people and people of color have been able to play this lovely game. This is a sport that it's in the Canadian DNA, but the system that is built on is not built for minorities or people of color. It never has been. And that's one of the reasons why this is not a sport that has been able to gain diversity. Another thing is that if you look at other leagues around like the NBA or the MLB, they do have big plans for diversity and youth. Even MLS, which is another league that is growing, and they say in the next 5 to 6 years, it probably is going to be the 4th biggest league and not the NHL. Now, those leagues have plans for diversity in their game, and they go to different countries. The NBA goes to China, goes to Mexico, they go to places like London. The NFL goes to London, goes to Mexico, and goes to other parts of the country. The MLB goes to the Caribbean, places like Venezuela, Panama, Dominican Republic. The NHL does not do that. And a lot of the NHL players are mostly white men from Europe or Canada or the United States. And also the focus on the NHL is the United States. Canada is a market, but it's not the biggest market for hockey. The United States is the biggest market, which a lot of those people are not attracted to hockey. So they're trying to go to the southern part of the United States. They've been trying to do that for decades right now, putting teams in places like Dallas, Tennessee, And so far, they have gained some kind of momentum. But again, the system is not built for that because, again, those places are not places that people play hockey. There is no snow, there is no winter. And, the winter part is not, if there is a winter actually, but it's not cold enough to play that game outside. And if people want to play that game, they would have to spend a lot of money, or they will have to find some type of school program to do that. Usually a lot of universities and school programs are the way that most of the youth go to sports, especially youth that doesn't have enough funds to play those sports. And in Canada, there's not a whole lot of them either. There are some schools that have a hockey program, but not all schools do. They don't have it because, again, it is a very, very expensive sport. It's not something that people can play every time, and if you want to play it all year long, you'll have to go to places that can actually, or facilities that can actually have that. So yes, is hockey a racist sport? I don't think so. Is there a sport that is not built for black people? Kind of. I don't think it's the sport. I think it's the system within the sport that the problem is. But let me know what you think. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, and comment on this video. Peace.